So we call it rapid fire. So
Yes.
how this works is I will usher us something and you just tell me the first thought that comes to your mind.
I'm looking forward to this, Michelle.
Awesome. So should start?
Yes, let's go.
Awesome. So future of work.
I'm laughing. Trees.
Do you want to explain a bit more?
I do want to, if you'll let me know. I'm doing a lot of reading. So I'm extremely fascinated by trees. I have been since I was a kid. I was an only child. I grew up climbing trees. My parents couldn't get me out of them. I swung in the monkey vines in them. I'm obsessed with trees, and I have been since I was little. But I've actually been doing a lot of research around them recently, around how they communicate and how they function as a collective whole. And I think there's a lot that we can learn from them.
I think so. This thing reminds me of this book. I think Secret Life of Trees or something.
Yes.
So
Yes.
fascinating book. I love it. I think and in fact now you're saying this, all the HR leaders should read it. I think
Yes.
they should make a point because I totally hear what yes, I agree with you. This is like we are trees in
Yes.
many ways. Makes sense.
Yes. Agreed. Okay, back to rapid firing. Sorry, I didn't mean to
Fascinating, but
distract that.
awesome. I think that's the best answer on future of work I've heard so far. Technology,
Humans.
leadership,
Care.
remote work,
Do it.
equity,
Not everything is equitable. Accept it.
diversity.
It's not what you think it is.
Do you want to elaborate more?
So here's the reality. I live and am part of a very diverse family. I'm African by nature, but I'm not Black African. I'm married to a Lebanese man. I have a stepdaughter whose mom is from Pakistan and her dad is from Iran. So, like, talk about a hodgepodge of a family, okay? We're white skinned, so we wouldn't be put into any D&I metric or quota system. You know what I mean? And yet we bring a lot of diversity. And we were actually having this conversation as a family just a few days ago, is the DE&I metrics and frameworks that people are putting into place right now are very limiting. And I think it's actually going to bounce back and hurt us because if you go and you look at like the limited frameworks that people are using right now, a Swedish family arrives here as white as anything, you know what I mean? But not white as we describe the culture. You know what I mean? I'm using very provocative terms right now. We can't put them into the space because they don't tick the diversity box, and yet they would actually be perfectly diverse and actually make the environment amazing. That's what I mean. It's not what you think it is.
I think could not agree with you more. I think this is absolutely as a technologist. I think so. We have this joke that if you want to learn diversity, ask an AI to figure it out. But I think one thing that so because we have so much of variables in us, like even my surrounding, my kids, my wife, my dad gives, like they all give me different my town that I'm living in. So there are so many things. I'm as you rightly pointed out. If I'm say Caucasian living in uh, a black town or immigrant town, what would you call it, right? So there's so many things that have already influenced me, but now you sort of box me out in a different way because of broad general boxes. I agree. I think it's at some point AI should take care of these things because then you can have sort of I think you rightly said numbers, right? So technology should not care, right? It should tell you
Exactly.
it should tell you the
Technology
truth.
should not care. Yeah. And it shouldn't be limited to race, and it shouldn't be limited to skin color. there's so many more factors that make up diversity. It's everything from the food we eat to the cultures that we choose to celebrate and make part of our lives, to the spiritual practices that we choose to make part of our life, to the fashion that we choose to make part of our lives. You know what? There's so many variables. And I think I like what you said there, because I've never considered that, is like let AI make that decision, is because AI has the ability to look at all those variables.
Well, it's weird. So slightly tangent, because I think this is really
Right.
really important here. So we have this AI, we have this AI tool, and when we're dealing with HR, it's first one of our recruiting offerings. So somebody says, "Hey, we love diversity candidates, whatever, right?" So we ask HR to click candidates, and now AI is seeing it. So we very quickly realize that every HR, they have or recruiter, they have a very particular taste of candidate that
Yes.
they're kicking in. So we said, okay, then although you don't want you want to be diverse, but the way your culture is getting people in, it's not supporting the diversity thing. So what we did, so we changed the algorithm to say, okay, throw 20% random people in their search results, right? Just see what, maybe that throw them off, right, slightly. And we are seeing far better results. We are seeing that, and when we call diverse, so we're not calling like ethnic diversity, we're calling primarily skill diversity, or
Yes.
basically geoloco diversity and all that. And we realize that the AI is basically the recruiters are having fun, because now they're not guilty. They feel they're giving everyone a chance, because after a
Yes.
while even they realize they're clicking a particular, if you're an international, you're clicking all the internationals. So it was
Yes.
weird all across, I think. So giving it to AI and saying, okay, just you figure it out,
You
and we
figure it
keep
out. Yeah.
and we keep pivoting the nodes, gave slightly better results than what humans
I
are.
love it.
So it's
I absolutely love it. Yeah. May AI do our recruiting for us in the future.
oh my goodness, yeah. So hopefully so far AI is failing. So far I think the track
Yeah.
record is not very in favor, but yes, I
Yeah.
think
It's not
that's
very in favor, but it's doing some good right
it's
now.
yeah it's actually because I think it's not. So one of the thing that we say, that all of us have this very sophisticated computer that we're living with, right? And it took ages for us to program this, and
Mm.
now we're giving some of our core capabilities to this AI. It's always like very interesting. I hope that we sort of go with caution. As a technologist,
Yes.
I'm thinking, and I should but I think you're rightly pointing out this, we need a progressive thinking on the HR front. So
On
that's it.
that. Yeah.
Anyways, long tangent. I think this is the most weirdest rapid fire I've done, but fun. uh,
Good.
Legislature.
The right to work.
That's deep. Jobs of future.
Bot companions.
Future of learning.
Multifaceted degrees.
Things that keep you up at night.
Nothing keeps me up at night.
Oh
I
my
sleep.
god, you're blessed. Really?
Really. I sleep. And I can sleep anywhere.
It's pretty cool. So